Hey everybody, alright, happy Labor Day weekend for everyone. I have a nice long 3-day weekend, and this video is going to be a setup video on the setup that I would run on my buggy. If you do the setup and you guys have the truggy, you do it the same way. You might run a little bit of a different setup on the truggy. Anyway, I believe the subscriber's name was Ron Stanley. Wanted me to, I think he asked me about my camber and basically all the angles, alignment angles for the car. I told him about the toe, so I said I'll do a video so you guys know. It's kind of hard for me to explain. I run my toe out pretty extreme. And the reason for this is because of my driving style. I am a 100% off-power steering, so I pretty much coast into the turn, and then not until the car is straight is when I get on the gas. Also, what I run is the short Ackerman for the steering, and I will show you in a minute when I get the lid off what that actually does. At least how it was explained to me, and you can kind of see the difference. So okay, I have the short Ackerman installed in here. I've been running the short Ackerman pretty much from day one. Now what that allows for is, let me turn the vehicle here, and if you steer, I don't have a car stand, of course. I don't know why, but I don't. You guys don't have to excuse me. My allergies are extremely bad. It's late August, Michigan, so I'm suffering from the allergy season. I guess I should upgrade to aluminum sinuses so it won't affect me so much. That's a little joke from the Nitro RC nerds. Anyway, okay, short Ackerman. When you steer to the, let's say to the right, what that allows for is if you can see, you're going to see that the inside tire turns more than the outside tire. Now what that allows for is, it might be hard to see on video, but this becomes the pivot point where you turn. So you're going to get a lot of steering. The only problem is, because this is the pivot point and your wheel is really stuck to the ground, if you give it any type of gas, the vehicle's just going to want to spin out right on this pivot point, and you're going to do a donut like that. So, like I say, the extreme toe out allows for very sharp off-power steering. So, okay, your droop, everything else, you want to set your toe out last. So the first thing you're going to set is your droop, okay, which is, I do run my droop a little bit different. In the front, the droop is 102.5, I run that. And in the rear, 114 millimeters of droop in the rear. I run 113.5. Don't ask me why, I just don't want it that extreme. That'll stop the vehicle kind of from kicking up in the back too much on bigger jumps, depending, again, on your driving style. Now, if you guys aren't sure what droop is and how to adjust the droop, there is a screw on the back of your control, on the front side of the rear control arm, and then the back side of the front control arm, what they call a droop limiter screw. So what you're going to do is adjust that right here, kind of hard to see, right there where the end of my wrench is. That is your droop limiter screw. If you screw that screw in, it shortens your droop. If you screw it out, it lengthens the droop. Now you want the vehicle off the ground when you're setting the droop. Alright, so when you take your measurement, oh boy, this is an awesome car stand, love it, need an aluminum one. Okay, sorry guys, I know I'm clumsy, I just woke up not too long ago because I wanted to sleep in. And your droop measurement is going to be from the center of this bolt here, your shock standoff, and they're even concaved in this one so you can actually get your tool in there to measure it. So you just take a dial indicator and measure that. You got here to the center of the bottom shock mounting screw. And then just make sure that equals 113.5 or 114 millimeters on both. You just adjust the screw accordingly until that's set. Then you go ahead and set your ride height by adjusting your shock collars. Once your ride height is set, front and rear, then you can move on and do your camber. So my front camber, I run the stock setup, the stock camber links, everything. So let's find the camber. We have, I'm just going to show you guys so you know. I know what my camber setting is, but I just want to show you guys. -2 degrees in the front, and the camber in the rear is -2 in the rear. Actually, I go -2.5 in the rear in the buggy and truggy. So, okay, once that's set, then you can move on to your toe, which I believe is probably one of the most important things when it comes to steering, at least off-power steering. So your toe out, this is how you do it. Obviously, you know your adjustments are here and here on your tie rod ends. And so basically what you're going to do, you got to make sure your radio is on and the car is on so your wheels stay put. Now, there's two different ways to do this. The way I do it is this way, and then I'll show you the other way if you want to make sure that it's as even as possible. What I do is I look down the center line of the tire when we're going to pretend the vehicle's on. I don't have my radio in the house and I just don't feel like going to get it. So let's say the car's on. You are going to look down the line of this tire and make sure you see that the tire, you can just see the tire line up, the front side of the tire and the back side of the tire with your eyeballs. Now what you're going to do is point this tire to the very center of the tread in the rear here. So this one is off, it needs to be adjusted, if you can see, just about like that, and then it would point to where my finger is here, out. Same thing with this side, alright, and that's going to give you that extreme toe look. Mine is off, it needs to be adjusted, but that is because I just rebuilt it. When you do make all of your adjustments, make sure the car is ready to hit the track. Again, a full tank of fuel, your battery pack installed, car on, ready to go. We're going to pretend I have a full tank of fuel on the radio on because I'm just explaining it. I'm not going to do this until I get to the racetrack. I don't want to put fuel in here and let it sit until the 20th of September, which is the next race I'm going to make. So, okay, the other way to do it, if you're not going to eyeball it like that, let's say you want to go with 1 degree of toe out, which is what the manual calls for. The easiest way is you butt the vehicle up against a flat surface on your table, square like that, okay? You can take your camber tool and make your adjustment like that. So let's say we want 1 degree of toe out. I have to set you guys down because this thing is cranked down. Oh my God, there we go. Alright, so to make your toe out adjustment, you check it by putting your camber tool up against the wall here, right? And then, you know, just like that. Flat up against the wheel, flat up against the wall. And then we can flip it over and see that this is exactly 1 degree of toe out. So it's going to be upside down on this side, so actually positive is going to be negative, and then when you flip it over to this side, negative is going to be negative. It's just because you're doing it the reverse. So you'll set it up against the wall, flip this in, and now you, again, like I said, you got to make sure that your radio's on, your steering is as centered as you can get it. Put it up against the wall, and this one is 2 degrees of toe out on this side. So yeah, it does need to be adjusted. Now that's how you get your toe perfectly even, with the car up against the wall and adjusting it. I don't think it was up against the wall when I did it. Anyway, just like that. Now we're going to hold that measurement, and that one's actually 3 degrees out. So that's basically how I do my setup. And the only thing I need to do here is change my air filter. I just haven't had the chance to. I'm going to try and get maybe a running video tonight. Just see where my tune is sitting today. Just for the heck of it. I know you guys like to see running videos. And so we'll try and get that today. But I just figured I'd give you guys that quick tip. And maybe that'll help Ron out there. I know he said what setup I run. I think he's running a different buggy. I think he's running an Associated. So I'm not exactly sure the handling characteristics of that vehicle. I've never driven one myself. So I can't really vouch for how the vehicle handles. But as far as the low-C aspect goes, I know that's where I like it. It may not be where you guys like it, but you could even use my setup there as a starting point. And then if you have if you're spinning out in the corners too much and you don't like it, just bring the toe in by a degree on each wheel and see what happens from there. Just make one adjustment at a time. No need to change everything. So anytime you're going to change something that you don't like, whether it be rear camber, ride height, droop, one adjustment at a time. If you're going to adjust the droop, just adjust the droop. Don't go through and adjust the droop, the camber, and the toe at the same time, because you're not going to know if it did make it better or worse. What made it worse? Was it the droop? Was it the toe? Or was it the camber? One thing at a time. So that's another good tip. And just always remember, guys, if you're out on the track, slow is fast. Slow is fast. Take your time, make your corners. The first lap that you make without crashing is going to be your fastest lap. I'll guarantee it. So I hope this helps out, guys, and we will talk to you real soon. If you guys want to see anything else on the Truggy or this buggy, please let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you guys sooner than later today, hopefully, for a running video. Thank you.